Great day, great day, great day. Y'all know I don't get many opportunities to get to speak and say what I want to say without my internet acting completely ignorant and retarded. I have like the perfect opportunity to play a video. I wanted to play a couple of things for you guys to see today. We're going to just start with this a little bit of truth, enlightening information, and things that are only going to get your mind right. So let's do that.
Philosopher like Socrates. We didn't have philosophers like Plato. We didn't need that. We're not mechanical people. We respect the boundaries of individuality. You are individual, unique, unlike any other individual on the planet, which makes you number one.
Okay.
That's Urua. U-R-U-A. You are number one.
Are you listening to this?
Wait. Being that you are number one,
Yes.
who is better than you?
No one.
Who can teach you anything?
No one.
Thank you very much. Oh, God. Get into it now. Wait. That is the first commandment of Urua.
Okay.
That comes out of you.
Okay.
It's the only vibration that you should pay attention to and listen to. Okay. Second, the second commandment is you will not offer yourself. Will not offer. I'm going through a transition. It's a fight on my part because I didn't realize I was so conditioned. Even though I have helped many people and I've been helped, I still have a tendency to violate that life code, which should not be.
That's right.
Which means
right.
But now, starting tomorrow, Dr. Sabi is going to be clean as a wet dick dog. The second commandment of Urua is that you will not afford yourself.
Okay.
Second, in the commandment, you will not offer yourself anything that
will not hurt.
And third,
yes,
offend no one or anything.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh my God, Urua.
That's
Urua brings about a degree of freedom.
Yeah.
That I have not experienced, and I have been in many religions, and I've been following many philosophies. Not that the philosophies of the religion are good, but when I found Urua, I got to find Sebi. I got to find my mama.
That's right. That's right.
Urua.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Urua helps us for self, that respect. And if you develop that for yourself, you automatically are compelled to give that to others. That's the black race. But there was a reason why the white man had to do what he did.
What was that?
It was a cosmic reason. If it wasn't a cosmic reason,
it wouldn't have happened.
That occurrence would not have occurred.
Okay.
So parents, continent, they call up.
What you call?
What do I call it?
Yes.
Then you want to put me in a deficit.
No.
We didn't name anything.
Oh.
How could we name something we didn't make?
Okay.
We didn't call Africa anything. They got brothers and sisters that said, well, it was that. I came out of a vowel sound of A-E-I-O-U.
Of vowels, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
And we had that in the jungle. No. We didn't have that in
No
the jungle.
vowels. No vowels. No.
We did not have in the jungle.
Right.
So what did you have in the jungle, nigga? What did we have? We had the laws of life, the vibration that was electrical. Obey the laws of life, just like the oh, hey girl, this is beautiful, right?
It is.
It develops a love for self. Oh God, it's so delicious.
Oh wow. I love
Urwa.
that. I love you, Dr. Steve.
I love too. I love you. Hey, this white boy named Mikey. This white boy looked at me and he's amazed because the white boy could not believe that I am giving with him and sharing with him on the level that I am.
Right.
Because the division between black and white is so sharp and should not be.
Mm.
It should never be. Why? I am a black man, they say.
Yeah.
I resonate on the jungles of Africa. I'm not like an Eskimo that live with the whale.
Right.
If you gave me the diet of the Eskimo, I would die of a heart attack in less than a fortnight.
It's all.
And if you give the Eskimo my diet, he would freeze.
Okay.
So it showed that when nature arranged something, you have to follow that arrangement because that is the original way it should be.
Okay. That makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
You mean to tell me that I would gain more of a life expression if I obey the laws of life and not that of a theologian?
That's right.
Or that
Dr.
of a
Sadie.
philosopher?
That's right.
Yes, because the theologian, have you eaten a hog?
That's right. That's
A lamb? Or is my biological?
Tell us about lamb because we all think that it's okay to eat the goat, the lamb.
Well,
that
of
is
course,
better than...
it is okay for us to eat lamb and lobsters and shrimps. Lamb is nothing. You see what happened? We are under the impression that if we aren't Christians or Muslims or Buddhists or Hindu, that we are faltering.
Somehow.
Well, we are faltering when we accept one of them because now you have become prejudiced.
Right.
Mom,
You
does this
accept
hurt?
none. You accept you.
Mom, does
And in
this hurt?
accepting you, you accept everybody on their level. Like Mr. Watkins was saying today, Mr. Mel Watkins said, you know, there are many people that need Christianity and need Islam and need Buddha. Yes, they do. But there are many of us that doesn't.
Okay.
We move on to another level of expression.
That's
and
right.
I am not going to take the position that the level of expression that we represent is better than anyone else.
Okay.
It's different.
It's in its
It
ours. Right.
Different. It's ours.
Right.
It's our resonance.
It's our personal truth. Yeah.
It's our resonance.
Resonance. That's
So
a
therefore,
powerful word.
it allows me to grow. And boy, sister, it is so delicious to represent Mama.
That's because Mama loves you. That's
Mama,
why. Yeah.
You are my God.
Oh.
You are my heaven. You are my hell. Mama,
keep it real.
You are everything to me. Okay?
Yeah.
My mama. You represent that. Africa represents that, as they call her Africa.
That's right.
But many of us would never dare to air that because this restriction. I cannot love my mother on that level. Oh, yeah? Well, elephant does. And you see that animal that you guys call the king of the jungle?
Oh, the lion.
You know who teach him everything he knows?
Show him your shirt. Look at what he chose to wear today.
You know who teaches that lion everything that he knows?
I'm going to say Mother Nature.
His mama.
Yeah.
And if she teach him everything that he knows and he's the king of the jungle,
in her womb,
I wonder what she does, what she is. God. Every skill that is developed, she showed him that, and he's the king of the jungle.
Yeah.
But what is she?
God.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Oh gosh, it's freedom time. Otherwise, there. That is why in the the in the book,
Which
which is the
book?
dimension of Bolingo, the
Okay.
dimensions of Bolingo.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's when you enter the environment of peace and harmony within yourself.
Oh,
The what? The dimensions of Bolingo.
the dimensions of
That's
bilingual.
right.
Mom, I'm hungry.
I've never heard of. Yeah, I
Oh,
bet.
we're going back to home now.
I know.
Bolingo came out of the African language from the Congo. They called it Linasa.
Wonderful.
Hey, look, girl, we got a
Bilingual. Bilingual.
Well, was it Bolingo?
Bilingual.
Is it B?
Bolingo. Bolingo.
Bolingo.
The dimensions of Bolingo.
The
Flamingo.
dimensions of Bolingo.
When we enter the
Dimensions of-
dimensions of Bolingo, you're not going to come and tell me, well, he or she doesn't like me.
So
And
where-
I feel bad at what they say. Or I'm stressed. Well, you're
Okay.
supposed to be.
We're supposed to be stressed.
Because you haven't learned your lesson.
I got that bad temperature.
In the dimensions of Bolingo, you don't even use words. Because they're
silence.
useless. What you use words for?
You're right, Dr.
What you trying to
Stevie.
convince people of? No, you use act.
Act.
Act. The act itself. A-C-T.
Okay, got
The
it.
act. In the dimensions of Bolingo, you don't need words
Mhm.
because your vibration takes place. That's the electrical
Oh.
communication.
And so the eyes.
That's
the
correct.
eyes is I
That
know about
Is
that.
the medium of communication, that electrical pulsation
Oh,
that
my
comes from the eye to
goodness.
eye. But if you were to do what our mama did, you would never have eye to eye. You would have eye to vagina.
This is the doctor. What's
Because
that
everybody
face?
will
He's
be
telling
looking
the
at you.
truth.
They no longer will talk to your eye because the morality has dwindled.
Oh,
Remember-
I see what
remember
you're saying,
what they
Dr.
said now.
Sadie. Yeah.
They said that mama was naked. Oh, yeah? Who said that? Some Greeks and some Europeans.
That's
That's
right.
fine.
That's right.
That's fine. They said that mama was naked.
Okay.
Okay. If we have to qualify that, then we have to say that God made clothes and mama didn't have any on.
Mm-mm.
Did
That's
God
not
make
true.
clothes?
No.
Well, was she naked?
Yes, she was how she was supposed to be.
She was natural. Come on,
That's
use the
right.
word.
She was natural.
That's right. She was natural
She was natural.
and shameless.
Natural and shameless.
She
Yeah.
had no clothes. The Russian said to me, "Oh, because this Mexican was messing with the Frenchman." The
About
Mexican
to
told the
make me
Frenchman.
laugh. Dr. Stevie Way.
The Mexican told the Frenchman, "Shut up. You're not a Mexican. You don't make tequila.
Oh,
We make tequila. Understand?
the
So you be
Russian
quiet.
said that?
So wait. Now this is happening in Brazil.
Okay.
We all smoking dope and listening to each other. And this Mexican that mess around with Pierre. You shut your mouth. You don't make tequila. You're not a Mexican?
Okay.
And the Frenchman looked at the Mexican and said, no, he looked at us and said, get a load of that. He said that. We don't make tequila, but he forgot who made champagne.
Oh,
And even the Mexicans start laughing because he saw where the Frenchman
Yeah.
got the best of it, right? So the Mexican looked at me and said, and what do you have to say about your people, Sadie?
oh.
I said, what do I have to say? I said, I got a lot to say. So the Russian is sitting there, Mladenov said,
Oh. Okay.
you better watch what you say about your people. I said, why Mladenov? Because your mama didn't have no clothes on 500 years ago.
Oh.
I said, did you all hear what Mladenov said about my mama? The Frenchman said, yeah. We heard what he said about your mama. Why don't you defend her? I said, do I have to defend mama? He did already. He told me mama didn't have no clothes on. Pierre, did you say that? Yes, okay then. Pierre, could you imagine what you just said? That my mama could live for millions of years in the forests of Africa,
Mm,
natural, and nobody was jumping on her. Meaning that the
that's
level
right.
of ethics and morality
That's true.
was so high
That's true.
that my mama didn't buy her any clothes that cost hundreds of dollars. She was living naturally. So now, but wait, what puzzled me with you, right enough, and I hope that you help me with this, because you said that mama didn't have no clothes, and then you stopped. Mama didn't have no clothes. Mama didn't have no religion. Mama didn't have no God. Mama didn't have no church. Mama didn't have no doctors. Mama didn't have no medicine. Mama didn't have any
She sure
disease.
didn't.
Mama didn't have any alcohol.
No, she
Mama didn't
didn't.
have any money.
Wow, was that phenomenal or what? You guys enjoyed that? The words of Dr. Sabi have been known to have so much information to break down the portals of your mind, the things we talk about all the time, but sometimes we're not aware of. So, what we need to do is make sure we are aware of everything. I have a few things I want to show you guys. I don't want to bombard you with a bunch of videos, but I definitely want to show one other. um, Let me see which one. This may be a little too long. Hold on one second, guys. Yeah, this is, hold on a second. I'm going to get out of that one. Give me a moment, guys. Let me pull this up for you guys. I didn't want to have too much pulled up and mess up the disturbance of everything. So let's get on to this. Let's see. All right, this is a pretty good one. We'll start here. I am giving a complete disclaimer, and I do have the right under information and fair use of Code 107, U.S. Code 107, to share information that has been given to us. So I am going to share one more video, and then we're going to get into some a little more deeper stuff. This right here is going to be enough right here to open up some portals, but we are going. We are getting a good piece of information. How you guys doing? Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate your attendance and information to just energy. Okay, we're gonna give it just a few more moments to get going. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You are in the perfect space of everywhere you do over here. And give it a minute to catch up because since I had that going, I'm back. I am so back. And yeah, thank you guys for giving me a minute here. You know what it is with this internet, playing with me, Appreciate you, brother. Yes, definitely. This work is all for you guys. A lot of this stuff I've been finding, I've been going back in some old files and old emails and documentation. So it's trying to slow down now. I'm gonna give it a minute and get this thing pulled up. So yeah, it's pausing. So once it gets a second to catch up, we're gonna get it going so it don't kick me back out again because you know it wants to. You know, I know they were looking at everything that I was sending myself from my old account. And, I'm not slow to any of the information that is trying to be blocked. So we look like we're okay. Yes, let's get to it. All right. All right. All right. All right. Here's a good one I want you guys to hear. Let's get to it. Don't stop. Don't stop. Play.
Hello, and welcome to whoever you thought you were, you're a Jew. The TV show that teaches the ignored truths of history. We also teach this concept over here, and we try to get away from this one, the golden calf. Today's show is called Race, and I came with the expression the ignored truth of history is more. When we talk about race, we're talking about that group of people that white people sometimes call niggers. I wonder how many of you actually know what that word means. You will by the end of this show. Had the culture of whites, you probably that pretty ignorance of history. Those of you who've been watching this show may perhaps recall that several weeks ago we talked about the fact that most of the Jews alive in the world today may actually be descendants of Russian converts. Now, Jews like to consider themselves to be descendants of Israel. So the facts that Russia was once a Jewish nation for 500 years, in fact, and that most Jews who are alive today may be more closely descended from Attila the Hun than from King Solomon. These are facts which are just glaring facts, and it's incredible that such things could be ignored. And the question of how such things could be ignored has an answer, and the answer is collusion. All the parties involved have silently agreed, even perhaps without ever talking to each other. They've silently agreed to just not discuss this subject. In the case of the Russian Khazar Jews, it's embarrassing and frightening to Jews to consider the possibility that they may actually be descendants of converts and may have very little Israeli blood in them. In the case of the Russians, it's a horrendous embarrassment to them to admit that for 500 years in the Middle Ages, Russia was a Jewish nation. So they just ignore it. It's collusion. Now, if I were to tell you that blacks, for as many centuries as whites have been superior, if you want, in the Western world, that for just as many centuries blacks were superior, you'd probably find that hard to believe. And you'd wonder how such a fact could be hidden. And the answer is, again, collusion. The whites wouldn't want to admit such a thing because whites like to feel superior and like to think that their superiority is somehow permanent, decreed by God. As for blacks, if you look into the black civilizations that we're going to take a look at momentarily, you find something pretty interesting. You find that those civilizations actually arose as Jewish civilizations, later to become Islamic civilizations. Now, we live in a nation where blacks are taught that whitey got ahead by being a liar and a thief. So today's so-called black leaders get on the air and proclaim that the way to get ahead in America is for the black man to be a better liar and thief than whitey. I don't know about you, but I've thought about this matter, and there's no question in my mind as to where these so-called black leaders come from. They were put up there by whitey. Now, I'm not going to name any names. But the truth of the matter is that the roots of black greatness historically lay in Judaism and Islam. So the blacks who are teaching today that the answer to the question, how do you get ahead, is get the money, dollar bill, y'all. You folks know who I'm talking about, and that's what they teach. They don't want to hear any talk about God. For these people, the dollar bill y'all crowd, the realization that black greatness in the past lay in roots which go into Judaism and Islam is not really what they want to hear. So they just ignore it. As for the blacks in this country who are not dollar bill y'all people, we find that most of them are members of Christian churches, which is a good thing, except for the fact that they've been taught since childhood that Judaism and Islam are the enemy. And they've been taught that lesson so well that when they start to hear that the roots of black greatness historically lay in Islam, that's as far as they're going to go with that. They'll take slavery, thank you. So there you have it, collusion. For Whitey, it's great to keep black down. And for the blacks, it's great to not admit that in the past you were a Jew and later a Muslim. Now we're going to talk about the truths of history, the ignored truths. These truths are known to you if you're a black Muslim in America. You already know this if you're a black Muslim. But if you're a black treated in those whorehouses and condom vending machine buildings that we call public schools, then you probably don't know this. And if you're a white, you almost certainly don't know this. Let's talk a little bit about black history, and let's start with a map. This is a map of the area around the Mediterranean Sea. Up here we have Europe. Here's Africa. I think you can see on your screens that in this area of Africa that I'm pointing to is a desert. This, of course, is the Sahara Desert. The territory to the north is fertile, and the territory to the south is fertile. In fact, it's very fertile. Now let's talk about empires. The first great empire in Western civilization was probably Egypt, over here. Not much is known about the early Egyptian empire. There's lots of speculation. But in the process of time, the empire passed. Israel was great for a short time, but that didn't last either. Now, I don't have to tell you that a great empire arose in Greece. Most historians of intellectual Western history trace the history of Western intellectualism to Greece. Now, the Greek Empire didn't last too long, a number of centuries. One could reasonably ask why Greece became so great and why it was unable to hold on to its greatness. One could write whole books on that subject, and I'm sure that lots of such books have been written. But the fact of the matter is that for whatever reason, the Greek Empire rose, the Greek Empire fell. Subsequently, Western civilization moved over here to Italy. That's, of course, what we now call the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire at its peak stretched from Spain all the way around the Mediterranean, encompassing Arabia and parts of northern Africa. The Roman Empire lasted longer than just about any other, better part of 1,000 years. But in the process of time, Rome passed as well. There was a Persian Empire, which had its roots over here in Persia, actually over here, Iran. The Persian Empire at its peak stretched from Egypt, encompassing most of the Middle East, just about up to Greece. And the Persian Empire passed as well. The end of the Persian Empire came, I guess around the year 640 or so, when the armies of Muhammad began to conquer the Middle East, a process which was completed with lightning rapidity. So the next great empire was the Empire of Islam, an empire which, in many respects, has not ended to this day. It arose in Saudi Arabia, immediately conquered the entire Middle East, conquered Persia. The Persian Empire was Zoroastrian in religion. They got rid of that, replaced it with Islam. They tried desperately to get into Europe at this end and failed, but what they did do was they came across North Africa, and North Africa fell to the Muslims. It fell quickly, so that by the year 710, they were over here at the Straits of Gibraltar. That was only, about 60 years after the death of Muhammad. It took them only 60 years to conquer the entire Middle East and get over to this point right here. This puts us at the year 710 AD for America. For almost 800 years, Spain was a Muslim country. The army stopped at the Pyrenees Mountains because they couldn't beat the French. In honor of his conquest, they called what is now called the Rock of Gibraltar Jabal al-Tariq, which means the Mountain of Tariq. And the British, in their inimitable way, turned Jabal al-Tariq into Gibraltar. We now had an African Muslim empire which stretched from the Pyrenees Mountains, encompassing all of Spain, Morocco, and the whole north coast of Africa, right up to Egypt, and the area south into the Sahara Desert, as far as any man cared to stake a claim. This northern African empire, which was eventually headquartered in Spain, went under three names, and here they are. All the same empire, really, but three different names. From 710, the year that the Muslims moved into Spain, up until about the time of the Crusades, this was called the Umayyad Empire. And it wasn't just North Africa, because at that time, up until the Crusades, Islam had a world government. It was one empire, ruled from Damascus, and it was called the Umayyad Empire. But around the time of the Crusades, the Umayyad Empire fell apart into smaller empires. And the empire encompassing Spain and North Africa at that point was called the Almoravid Empire, later the Almohad Empire. These names, Almoravid and Almohad, come from the same kingdom, a kingdom comprised a huge mass of land, which we're going to show you again in a minute. Later, it came to be called the Kingdom of Mali. And finally, at around the time of Columbus, it was called the Kingdom of Songhai, Songhai being the name of an African tribe which conquered the territory. Three different names, but all really the same kingdom. A kingdom comprising the area from Senegal over here, all the way across the fertile sub-Saharan region to Chad, and well into the Sahara Desert. Again, an area almost the size of Western Europe. Now, I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but I'm pointing now to a river. This river flows from the mountains coming originally from Senegal, first east and then south. It's called the Niger River. And along the shores of the Niger River arose a civilization which eventually became the center of civilization in the Western world. Its headquarters was here. This is a city called Timbuktu. To those of you who are not familiar with this history, it might sound a little like a joke. Timbuktu. Timbuktu, at the time that Columbus sailed for America, was the center of Western civilization, right here in the heart of Africa, on the shores of the Niger River. In other words, this was a city of niggers, some people would like to call them. But they outdid Whitey. Europe at this time was a mess. There was no real civilization to speak of. The Renaissance was just starting at the time that Timbuktu, down in the heart of so-called darkest Africa, was the center of world civilization. Sounds impossible, doesn't it? Not only is it possible, it was true. And if you don't believe it, look it up in any encyclopedia. Historians get away with this. This cold facts of history involves would just as soon not think about it. Now, before proceeding, I want to show you a few books. This book is called From Babylon to Timbuktu, written by Rudolph Windsor. I've spoken to Rudolph Windsor a few times. He's a great writer, and he takes the history of the sub-Saharan Black empires as well as the northern Saharan Black empires and makes them very readable. All the information in this book can be verified in any encyclopedia, but it's more interesting to read it here. Because Mr. Windsor is a sponsor of this show, we're going to be giving the address of his publishing company at the end. You can also obtain this book in many black bookstores or street stalls which cater to black books, although you won't necessarily be able to find this in Barnes & Noble. Great book. Here's another book which is a source of information for me. It's called World's Great Men of Color. And this is a book you shouldn't have too much trouble finding in a library or elsewhere. It was written by J.A. Rogers, one of the great black writers of the early 20th century. Finally, here's a book that I'd love to be able to talk about, but I doubt there'll be time. It's called The Sign and the Seal by Graham Hancock. It was a bestseller for its genre not too long ago. It tells the story of the Ark of the Covenant. And if you're like me, by the time you finish this book, you're going to believe, as the author believes, that the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia, where it's been for thousands of years. That is, God, if Mr. Hancock is correct, gave the Ark of the Covenant to niggers. Think about that. Of course, a lot of people don't believe that. I'm not 100% sure it's true myself, but I'm about 90% convinced. In any event, I don't think we're going to have time to talk about the Ark today. Let's talk about Spain during the Middle Ages. I want to read something to you. I want to read you a little passage about Moorish Spain as Europe's cultural center. Although the white Christians of Spain deeply desired during this entire period to expel the blackamoors from their country, it is nevertheless an undisputed historical fact that medieval Spain was the cultural, educational, and scientific center of Europe. The Moorish kings lived in castles of highly polished marble, with elaborately carved walls and beautiful mosaic floors, while European kings lived in cold, damp castles of unfinished stone, crude by comparison. The streets of Spain's capital city, Cordova, were well paved and completely illuminated by public lights, at a time when the streets of London were dark and covered with mud. The Moors possessed all the knowledge of ancient Greece, which was lost to Europe until the Renaissance. They made important contributions to philosophy, medicine, mathematics, chemistry, astronomy, and botany. Doesn't sound like such a dark age after all, does it? There were academies for the rich, free schools for the poor, and libraries containing books from all over the world. The Jews of medieval Spain got along famously with the Muslims, and for them,
Lots
the
of those
sojourn in that
books they
nation is
just got
remembered
from
as the
the
second most glorious period in their history, exceeded
Vatican.
only by the glory of the reigns of David and Solomon in ancient Israel. Medieval Spain was the time and place of Maimonides and many of the other great Old Testament scholars, whose works constitute the foundations of modern Jewish thought. Throughout the Middle Ages, the white men of Spain endeavored to thrust out the Moors. It took them until 1492 to do that. When Isabella and Ferdinand finally defeated the last Moorish king in Granada, in the same year that they financed Columbus's trip to America, they immediately expelled all Jews who refused to accept Christianity. This is not at all surprising. Called Al-Mansur, which means the Invincible. His actual name was Yaqub ibn Yusuf, which means Jacob, son of Joseph. Question that Spain was ruled by blacks, at least during the latter part of the Middle Ages. The third dynasty, the Almohads, was also a mixed dynasty. The greatest of the Almohad kings was a fellow who they called Al-Mansur, which means the Invincible. His actual name was Yaqub ibn Yusuf, which means Jacob, son of Joseph, almost like a Jewish name. Al-Mansur arose at a time when the Christian forces were really rearing up and threatening to expel Islam. The Christians put together a huge army of 300,000 men at a place called Alarcos. Al-Mansur called together all the forces of Islam from all across North Africa, all the way to Egypt, and put together an army which beat the Christians at Al-Alarcos in one of the greatest battles in history. Now, Al-Mansur was the son of a man who was described as being of mixed race, but his mother was a full-blooded Negro slave from Senegal or Timbuktu. That makes Al-Mansur at least 75% Negro, and that's about as colored as any black man walking the streets of America today. So the answer to the question is yes, Spain was ruled by blacks during the period when it was indisputably the cultural, scientific, and educational center of Europe, believe it or not. Now, the slightly out of focus map on the left-hand side of your screen shows the approximate boundary of the Great Black Sub-Saharan Kingdom, known variously as Ghana and then Mali and later Songhai, all the same kingdom. a rather large kingdom. The yellow color shows the modern nation of Mali, which is, of course, much smaller. And right in the midst of it is a large black arrow showing the location of Timbuktu, the greatest city of that nation. I'd like to read you something about Timbuktu. This kingdom was originally called the Kingdom of Ghana. From about 300 AD up to the time of the Crusades, Ghana was a Jewish nation. This has been documented by the writings of one Eldad the Danite, whose works constitute the main historical source of information for this time or place. So this was a Jewish kingdom. Did you know that there were Jewish kingdoms in Africa? After North Africa was converted to Islam, an immensely lucrative trade developed between Ghana and the Islamic states to the north. In other words, the empire that was centered in Spain, which we talked about. At first, the Ghanans traded Marco Polo of the Arab world. And this is what Ibn Battuta had to say about Timbuktu, and I quote, "The inhabitants had a greater abhorrence of injustice than any other people. Neither the man who travels nor he who stays at home has anything to fear from robbers or men of violence." The driving force behind these developments was God and nothing else. Timbuktu arose as a Jewish empire and blossomed under the banners of Islam. There's no question about what the source of greatness was, not black skin color, but God. Maybe you're starting to understand what I mean when I say you're a Jew. We're out of time now. Please tune in next week when we're going to talk about the relationship between God and enlightenment. Are there two different realities? Are these two the same? Or maybe they're both wrong. If you want to know the answer to the question, tune in next week and find out. Thank you and goodbye.
Well, golly, this thing acting slow as usual. Let's see if we can catch it up, y'all. Y'all know I told y'all I was about to bring some fire to y'all. I got something else for you. I am so ready today. I want to like keep stopping the videos and say stuff. I'm putting small things in the chat not to distract you guys. I hope it's not distracting when I'm doing that, but certain things I just want to highlight ideas and thoughts. But what we're gonna do, I got one more thing I want you guys to see, right? This is gonna be very deep, so get your, self together, and get ready to, get into this very, very important piece of information I'm about to share with you guys now, because this is going to also lead into some of what you just saw prior. Now, when it comes to everything that's going on with us, we just have to make sure that I'm good. Yes, thanks, babe. Thanks, I appreciate that. So let's get into this, guys, because I can't wait to chat with you right after this. Let's get to it. Man, y'all get so damn testy around these waters. Listen, it's about the meat and the bones. If you don't know about them meat and bones, baby, I don't know what to tell you. I'm giving you a bit of some history. We're looking at things that people have said. We're always discussing these things, right? We like to get into the information of certain things that have been taught to us, shown to us, ideologies, information as to what people believe or think that is going on, with their particular selves. So, what we have to do is make sure that we are seeing. Now, we're going to get to fill you guys up because I see y'all a little hungry right now. Goodness gracious. Give your girl a chance to get to it. Oh, y'all so funny. Okay, so hold on a second. I got something else coming up for you guys. As you know, wasn't going to leave it with just that. Now I got to get to this other page so I can make sure you're getting the right information here and we are all set. I just actually created an album I wanted to share and let me see. Let me go back because now my album disappeared on me. Maybe a little bit going on with it. So I drink this tea. Mm-mm. Okay, baby, I'm gonna close you out and just start it over because this thing acting don't even wanna open it up. It was open fine. I had everything sitting and ready, of course, and now there's that. Grand day to everybody. Yes, grand day. Grand day to my chat. You guys are the most awesome of everything. And you know what, guys? I really appreciated the nominations that you guys have given me. If you want to, you can definitely go over, guys, and vote. Oh, I got too many screens open. That's why. I was looking at so many pictures and changing files. Let me just close everything and reopen this for you guys. And maybe we can get, you know, a little better situation going because I don't want anything to close out. Y'all know as soon as I get to doing, will start some type of interference and then I'll be a little bit annoyed. So we're going to start here. Let's do this. Okay, I got everything closed out, guys. Oh, I could play y'all a little music real quick, but I think I'll be quick. It won't take that long to get it pulled back up since it seems to be moving now. So yeah, when it comes to the information you viewed, there are a few different things, that were shown. So when we think about the information that I showed you guys, just disconnect. Hold on a sec. Let me go back. Let me go back. Okay. 1 second, guys. Having a little issue again. Okay, there we go. Got to get the screen back up now. Lord, if it's not one thing, it's the next. I told y'all. And mind y'all, this computer is definitely not a little small cheap computer. There's no reason for it to be doing this. So it's definitely some type of interference that I am retrieving when I'm trying to go over stuff with y'all. But it's okay. We're gonna work through it because I'm gonna get it done. Patience is a virtue. If you've ever heard that, when you're taking patience to handle anything, that there it is. See, I just took my time. I didn't get frustrated, and now everything is popping up for me. So we're about to get started. Let's give it a minute. I'm not gonna rush. We're gonna keep it at a little smaller standstill, real quick, just so we don't have any issues. And yeah, go from there. So how y'all doing? I hope you guys have been having an awesome day. Things are going like, the best that they can and, getting everything ready for you guys that do participate in the holidays. Oh, I wanted my kids to talk. I don't know if you guys saw my show last night on main radio and we continued after main radio, but my children all joined and we had a really good conversation. We talked about the metaverse and certain things that were going on from the kids' perspective and the as you guys can see, I have been trying to get this album open. I'm being very patient here. So let me get y'all a little, at least one little song. I haven't played any music today. So I'll do one little song. And hopefully by that time I can get you guys to be at least ridiculous connected to this. I would play some of this on the Bluetooth, but I hate just reading. I'd like for you guys to see the pictures as I'm reading, so on and so forth. So it's a little frustrating when I can't present the way that I'd like to, but that's okay. What we're gonna do is keep it moving. You already know your girl not gonna get annoyed. I've been having an awesome few 9 days, and things have been going pretty good. And I'm gonna keep it on that level. Not let anything interrupt my flow of energy and stuff like that. I don't even want to play nothing hype today, so I'm just gonna play fresh Flesh and Blood by Out of the Blue, produced by Depo. I love this. This is a fire song too. So let's get going. I'll be right with you guys.
Depo on the beat. I couldn't believe it, even when out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood, nigga. We fighting demons. Been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now you get to watch me get it up out of the mud. I couldn't believe, even when I was out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood, nigga. We fighting demons. I've been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now y'all get to watch me get it up out of the mud. Now y'all get to see me without a mud. Everything that I do gon' be out of love. And I'm tired of these trials and these tribulations. And I'm sick of my name always getting drugged. But no, I ain't budge. All of this money and you not pursuing it. All of this time you don't know what to do with it. Counterproductive and counterintuitive. Why you be acting like you already knew to it? Straight from the gutter, boy, we getting sewer. As soon as we get it, you know we gon' move it. With all of this money I made from the block, get out the game and invest it in stocks. Bought me a whip, get the rest of it up. When you saving no stuff and it messes them up. We gon' be fine, but we stay on our grind. All of my niggas is stepping it up and they foot on our neck and no letting it up. We level the playing field, even the battle. My son is a scientist, he's splitting at us. Need us more geniuses, I know we got them. I know it's in us, I'm bringing it out. I know ain't perfect, I'm making them out on Capitol Hill and I'm bringing them houses. The path that I'm on should nobody follow. I couldn't believe it, even when out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood, nigga. We fighting demons. Been double dared by the devil, and I'm still in the field. Now you get to watch me get it up out of the mud. I couldn't believe, even when I was out of eye, and I still couldn't see it. This is much deeper than flesh and blood. Nigga, we fighting demons. I've been double dared by the devil, and I'm still undefeated. Now y'all get to watch me get it up out of the mud. We fall hard on this road this longer. Fighting each other won't make us no stronger. I need this niggas been fighting this hunger. I'm at my worst and ain't getting no wronger. No change of signs, I'm making it through. I flip a chair or a table or two. They won't believe what I'm able to do. I'm making these moving. This a new movement. My dog at the gate and I'm praises and Anubis. I get too late in my boat pack with doobies. On my way up and I break through your roofing. Shot for the moon and it made me a star. Got so much drive I can make it tomorrow. Can't promise the day that I make it tomorrow. Every time that we make it to pay what we borrow. It's to pay what we borrow.
Following your footsteps every day. Sit in the mountains where I find you. Trying to be like you every day. They call me
I'm walking in the spirit, so I'm coming here with facts. Walking in your understanding, got you moving tact. Genesis 3:6, you should have a look at that. All because you ate that apple, now the world is moving mad. I'm always on the move, I've always got to pray.
Okay, all right, we in there. That's enough music.
Bluetooth pairing.
That's enough music. Let's get to it. Bluetooth off. I don't want you shutting on doing no weird shit. We're doing some crazy stuff. We're finna look at a couple of things that kind of counteract a lot of the things that we were looking at. I'm gonna step away from the chat, guys, just so that I can get to the pics. Right? It's actually a video. I was setting it up in a different thing, and it went into a video. So I want to make sure you guys are seeing everything. So I'm going to actually either try to slow down on the video so we can read it or pause it. So let's see. Do view one large. Okay. Okay. Now let's see. Oh, they about to try and start doing something because I see this popping up. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. What is that? Okay, we gonna read some of this stuff, guys. Hold on, I got to start the video over. Maybe if I go to let me go to each one. Let me go here and see what it do. This thing about to annoy me. Doing all of that. Let me remove that from the album. Get that out of there. Let me remove that one because that's some whole other weird shit right there. Let me see. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, guys. This here is a document we're going to read from the University College of London. And it was the sultry mouth scenes of London literal life from 1846. There was something I saw in here about slavery, and I thought it was interesting. So let's go over that. I'm not going to read the entire thing because there's a lot of things I want to show you guys. And we've already exceeded a little bit over an hour. You know, I don't like the videos to be too long, you know, because a person absorbs too much information at one time. They're really not able to contain it, and it makes no sense. So let's just kind of do this. It says in June of 1840, the World Anti-Slavery Convention, organized by the British and Foreign Anti-Slavery Society, was held in London at the Freemasons Hall. The convention took place in the wake of the full emancipation of the enslaved in the British colonies. Celebrated on the 1st of August in 1838, having a struggle for itself, abolitionists in Britain now saw that their task as to tackle these evils outside of the British Empire. So there was no slavery outside of the British Empire around 1838, is what this is stating. They were also deeply concerned about the varied forms of unfree labor. They were concerned about people having unfree labor. As you guys recall, we spoke about this in the book. When we read the book, the first part of that, it was going into everything when they came over, how when they came over, they were looking at how leisurely these people were sitting around. They were just lounging around, enjoying life, not worried about anything but getting some food, so on and so forth. So this is kind of what this was talking about, right? This was practiced across the globe. It said this was a practice across the globe. Unfree labor, which were practiced across the globe. So during the time of 1838, slavery was only pertaining in the areas of Britain, which is another part of America. We also viewed that on the map the other day when we looked at the book. In that particular episode, you guys haven't seen, you need to go back and look at it. In the book, it disclosed the information. In the maps, it also confirmed all the information going on, the agriculture, the people coming over, the things they were absorbing and taking from the lands, the values of them, so on and so forth. We went over all of that information. If you missed it, please go back. So this is what's going on there. Now listen. It says, now Britain saw that their task as to tackle these evils, they called them evils because they were concerned that these people were doing this. Now remember, as we discussed in the book, it talked about this as well. They said that they were upset, that they were like really stunned and just baffled that these people could live life so leisurely and not have to worry about stressing and this and that. It was phenomenal, right? So this is the same thing they're saying over there in Great Britain around this same time, right? They were also deeply concerned about the very forms of unfree labor which they were practicing across the globe, proud of the Britain's preeminence as the first empire to abolish slavery. The British and the foreign anti-slavery society imagined its scope of the world, its influence potentially immense, right? They imagined it. Listen, did you guys get that? We're going to read that part again. The British and the foreign anti slavery society imagined its scope as the world, its influence potentially immense. It imagined. So they thought that they had such this great influence on people that, hey, everybody's doing slavery, everyone's doing this, da 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 da. But listen, these stupid, foolish ass people, that's a whole nother story. The convention was held as a historic occasion, and Benjamin Robert Hayden was invited to paint in. Hayden was very well known as a history painter. Now, remember this. We're thinking about the history, the stories of the alleged facts and fiction that we're versing. When we're thinking about things that happen, just like people are getting upset in the chat, I just played some information. These are things that people have been implanted in their mind. These are the stories that our ancestors have some fallen under, unless you can go way back and get information from them. These are the implementations of the spell binding, the historical lies, which is the indoctrination, which is also the brainwashing, which is also the misedification of the thinking, which also minimizes the spirit, a broken down people from the lies and the torture of torment. When the mind is contorted and twisted into something that it knows is not true, because the body and the mind and the soul feels these things, right? We know what's true. We know we are a people that have a special link to this nature, this inner sphere, this outer sphere, that soul, that spirit, everything that a person is consigned to. We know that is all a part of us, right? But we keep being forced into a disconnect from that. We're told that there's something different. There's another outside force that we are in tune to that actually controls this particular outside force by way of religion. And when we're looking at the religion, and people are used to that because this is what we have come from. These religious aspects are part of the torturing, the tormenting of the mind, the regeneration and the reformation and the shape shifting of the brain by way of lies, torment, slavery of the mind, indoctrination of the mind, mental decapitation of the mind, physical decapitation of the body, as we read in the book. I'm getting a little thirsty, guys. Give me a minute. I'm gonna have to get a drink. We're gonna finish that song. As we think about it, in the book, it also told us when these people came over, they were living so healthy and everything. When they came and they brought their swamp living, disgusting life, their venereal diseases. That was the other video I was gonna play for you guys. We'll get to that another day. But when it comes to that, they brought these things over and it started to weaken the spirit and the mind and the soul of our people. We were such a strong people from our structure. So when they came in incapacitating us with their particular genes and their different filth and the germs and all the things that they carry from their bestiality and all of these things, bringing over certain meats that contain certain contaminants based off of these things. They were actually having sex with these animals and all of these things. I can imagine them bringing right over the ship on the boat. They don't got a woman on there. You know, they gonna go around there, down there, get one of those cows or sheep or something. Then they bring it right over here and giving it to our people. Of course, they were sick as a dog. Of course, they were falling out and dying, and they didn't have any of these things inside. Listen, I don't want to keep going there. Let's get back to this. I'll talk too much, and some people may get upset. Okay, listen. So as a younger man, he had painted three huge pictures which had brought him great acclaim. The Judgment of Solomon. Do you hear this? The Judgment of Solomon, Christ's entry into Jerusalem, and the raising of Lazarus. These famous pictures, the pictures and indoctrination of stories and lies to make a story that will confirm to your mind what you believe to be your religious aspect, the things that you learn to think and be implanted into your mind to look factual because they have presented to you not only a picture, historical documents, factual information that are in books, the indoctrination of the scholastic system, and all these things that are put in your mind. Not only talking about the frequency, tapping into the frequency of the organic human being, changing the structure, the DNA structure, dehumanizing the body, shape shifting it into a transhumanizing state, AI world, possibly some other things. So let's not get into that because I will go in. So let's get to it. A forceful writer on the arts and the role of the artist, and he was a great advocate of the Elgin marbles, staying in Britain, a pioneer of art, education, and popularity. Now, when we think about the religious aspect of these designs and these architectural structures, and we think about the religious books, and we think about the documents, and we think about these so-called scrolls that they have brought in, and we think about the aspect of theater, theatrics, and when we think about drama, and when we think about all these things that come into effect when it comes to these different people that have played the roles in our environment and shape shifting for us a true reality that we actually believe is the truth. But in all actuality, there is a change in these things. There is a shape shifting of truth and reality, a misfunction in the mind and in the brain, being trapped in the matrix of things of the mind. The matrix controls everything when it comes to the binary frequency, the code that they consider the Christ spirit. So when we think about that Christ spirit, it is a holographic space, the hollow area, that H spot that I always talk about. When we think about that spot that can either go in either direction, this is the spot as well when we're thinking about the shape shifting of the mind and the wave formatting of the brain mapping that goes on in the writing of information that is implemented onto your brain. These things actually happen from light coding information via technology, via the systems that you're using, the Black Mirror phone, the portal to your mind, the informational tool that actually connects you to this AI world, right? Y'all don't want to hear that because y'all not going to let the phones go nor the computer. I can't let it go because it's the only way that I can give this information to you guys. So I'm going to stick with it for now. But if you can, tear yourself away from these things at the most opportune moments, making sure that you are disconnecting Wi-Fi boxes at night, making sure that you are buying EMF protection sheets and blockers for your phone. You can attach them to your phone. You can buy the sheets and you can cover up this equipment so that these particular wires of frequency are not going through your body continuously 24 hours a day, and you're at least able to get a content sleep, right? Now, let's get back to this. When it comes to this, we're talking about these people that have constructed stories, made pictures, have reconstructed architect. I showed you guys pictures of the mountains and the huge trees that we used to have that gave us purified air that cleansed everything. We didn't have to worry about the air being clean. It was cleaned by the intellectual trees that we had, the intellectual property that was here on earth organically to protect us and be here to keep us healthy, right? All these interceptions of these different things that come into effect. That's a whole nother subject I'm not going to get into. So let me go on to finishing this. It said the English, he believed, had the taste and the feeling to appreciate art. Art, everything is artistic, everything is based off theatrics. including the structure. If you notice the structure that they show you when they show you these small little thin it looks like all these intricate, we're going to get to that, but these little pieces, they're so thin, there's not even any validity to these structures. That's like a whole nother story. My gosh. It said that he wrote letters to the House of Commons, organized committees to act on matters of public concern. Why is an artist acting on matters of public concern? Does that strike you interesting? Does that sound odd? Does that, make any sense to you? He's agitated for reform of the Royal Academy and argued that paintings should be commissioned for public buildings. He painted. He wanted to exalt what he saw as the noble tradition of history painting in Britain. History painting a story in Britain. Fake ascension of light. False information. He was convinced that his creative artist was sacred. I'm sorry. He thought that everything that he painted was sacred. High art by Hayden, as for others in his generation. So we're going to get into that. So there was a historical painting. He devoted of himself to huge pictures of the heroic actions and the history. He painted the actions of history, putting into perseverance lies and altercations and painting scenes of reality in the mind of a standpoint in our history. Do you get it? Curtis leaping into the Gulf of Alexander and St. Helena, which he painted 23 times. Napoleon musing at St. Helena, which he painted 23 times. Wellington contemplating the field of Waterloo. Wellington contemplating. What does that mean? That you are pondering and thinking of something. You are bringing it into fruition. So this is something that he pictured and he wrote. Wellington contemplating the field of Waterloo, this big grand battle where they just destroyed all of these people, right? The passing of the reform of 1832. The reform of 1832. Someone write that down in the chat. I'm going to look that up. The reform of 1832, which had been for Hayden, as Althea Hayter suggests, history itself was a series of historical paintings and great freaking events. Did you hear that shit? I'm gonna read it again. Let me actually see if I can. This thing will not let me go in. I want you guys to see this for yourself. I'm gonna read it again. Everything that I just told you. I'll take a minute and just see if you guys are with me. You guys following me with this? I know you were feeling that video earlier, right? That last one that was just saying so much of nothing and lies and stuff like that, right? We on it right now, right? We getting to the truth of the matter, right? Now, in recent times, I just told you guys about how everything is a book. Everything that we go through is a book. This is a contemplated story, including religion. These people that are religious freaks, they'll say, "Oh, the Bible's real. See, the Bible told you to listen. They wrote that Bible to tell you what they was doing to you. People, listen. All this stuff." I'm gonna go back to this. Let me not get caught up in my own feelings, and I'm gonna go right back to this for y'all. Right? We're gonna read this part one more time. The Reform Act of 1832 had been celebrated by holding a great banquet, and Hayden had painted this event for Hayden, as Althea Haytar suggests. Now, listen close, those who have ears to hear. History itself was a series of historical painting of great events. I'll repeat that. History itself was a series of historical paintings of great events. I'll repeat it again. History itself was a series of historical paintings of great events. Didn't we just go over that earlier? Didn't I just break that down as to everything they said as far as the story? Listen, we ain't gonna go backwards. We ain't gonna go back. We're gonna move forward. Because if you ain't caught on by now, if you're not getting and following me by now, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. And the great historical moment had a composition like a picture. Every great historical moment had a composition like a picture. Hmm. Striking information, right? I tell you. Check this shit out. His high ambitions, notwithstanding, however, Hayden immaculately, dismissively, and thought them great works of art. He thought them great works of art, painting these historical falsities, creating events, making history in itself a series of what is known as pictures, the historical events being framed in the mind and put on paper, and starting the historical facts that are lies and conjuncture put on the minds of men, right? Hmm. In inviting Hayden to paint the convection, a significant claim was being made as to its historical status. This was not just the meaning of the great and the good, it was a historic moment. A historic moment, right? This was not just a meeting of the great and the good. It was a historic moment for those who do not have ears to hear. Britain, having led the way in the abolition of slavery, and now taking the initiative and spreading the benevolence across the world. Now that slavery was what with they people, right? Furthermore, this convention, the era of the universal family of man, the era of the universal family, the era of the universal family, the history, the lies, the stories, the paintings, the pictures, the history, and painting a scene and this and that and all this shit they was doing, right? So the benevolence across the world, I'm going to read that again, having led the way in the abolition of slavery, was now taking the initiative in spreading benevolence across the world, spreading lies, not truth. Furthermore, this convention heralded the era, heralded the era. This convention was heralded the era of the universal family of man, and as a symbol of the freed slaves, as a symbol. You know what a symbol is, right? I'm not going to break every damn thing down. As a symbol of the freed slave, were welcome to the event. Okay. Now I'm gonna just check on my chat and see if y'all following me now. Y'all following me now? Y'all with me now? Yeah, we played those videos. My brothers was getting a little testy. They was like, "Come on, sister." So these lies, this conjuncture, this. I said, "Bro, we getting to it. We gonna get to it. Let's eat the meat. Let's eat the meat. And let's spit the bones out." See, now we get into the meat, right? We can get into the meat. We can get to the side of potatoes. We can get little vegetables in there. We can get our popcorn, bro, talk about it, all that, right? Because it's going down now with the information, because we finna blow y'all minds with the truth. See, we heard the lies in conjunction, the things that we've been hearing. We heard some of the truth in that. We heard about the stories of where certain things come from. So now we're going to get a little bit more into some other things. Let's get some pictures ready for you guys. Look at this. To preserve racial integrity, this is a health bulletin in Virginia in 1824. It's pretty hard to read, guys, but I'm going to do the best that I can. It's like kind of light and it looks kind of weird. It says the Senate Bill 2219 to preserve racial integrity passed the House of March 8th, 1921, and now a law in the state. This bill, actually, I can see it better over here. Let me see. This bill, let me see if I can actually zoom in on this one, because oh yeah, this one is letting me zoom in a little. That's better. There we go. There we go. All right, that's gonna help me out. Now we getting somewhere. To Oh gosh, hold on, guys. I really gotta take this call. 1 second. I'll be right with you guys. You can read that if you can. All right. Let me see what's going on. Y'all right with me? Okay. Mm. So it says the law and states. It says the bill. Man, this thing hard to read. The bill aimed at the correction a condition which which thoughtfully the people of Virginia know the existence of. It is estimated that there are in the state from 10,000 to 20,000, possible more, near white people, possible more near white people who are known to possess an intermixture of colored blood, who have known to possess an intermixture of colored blood. In some cases, to a slight extent, is a rule, but still enough to prevent them from being white. So even if they had any black in them, it prevented them from being white. In the past, it has been possible for these people to declare themselves as white. Or even so, a lot of black people were, as they would say, black. We'll just use that term for now. Would classify themselves as white or passing for white per se, or even to have the court to dissolve them. Then, then they have they have damaged the admittance of their children into the white schools, and in not a few have intermarried with white people. So the ones that obviously were passing as white were intermarrying with other whites. So therefore, thinning out their blood even more. In many countries, they exist so distinct color holding. I'm sorry, no, exist as distinct colonies holding themselves aloof from Negroes, but not having but not having but not holding themselves aloof from Negroes, but not having admitted by the white people as of their race. So they didn't tell the white people their race. Basically, they're like, I don't got to tell y'all shit. In any large gathering or school for colored people, especially in the cities, many will be observed who are scarcely distinguished as colored. These Perwins, however, are not white in in mality nor by the law. Definition of this law that a white person is one with no trace of the blood of another race, except a, a pursue with 1/16 of American Indian. What the heck? If there is no other race, if there is no other race, where is it at? Let me see. Let's see. Large gathering, people of color, people, especially in the existence, many will be observed. Many will be reserved, distinguished as colored. These people, something. Where am I at? Goodness gracious. They were traced without the trace of blood of another. Okay, blah blah blah. That's enough of that shit. Okay, basically, y'all see that they're talking about this racial integrity. If you had a certain percentage and use blah 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 da 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 da, all that nonsense. Now, it's from the slave laws in Virginia. So in 1682, the slave code received additions. It was enacted that runaways who refused to be arrested might be lawfully killed. Slaves were forbidden to carry arms, offensive or defensive, or to go off the plantation of their masters without a written pass, or to lift a hand against a Christian, even in self defense. Now, this is where this narrative comes from. Turn the other cheek. When people in the Christian era say, "Oh, turn the other cheek," this is where this came from. The scaring of the slave, telling them that you can't go against these Christians, these Cretans, these Slavish people, these white dirty people. I'm sorry, these people that came from rats and slum and bestiality, now trying to come and do something in certain areas that they have taken over, and so on and so forth, before our people could come and rescue them, right? So the condition of slavery was imposed upon all servants, whether Negroes, Moors, mulattoes, or Indians, or whites. They don't say that. Brought into the colony by sea or land, whether converted to Christianity or not, provided they were not of Christian parentage or country, or if Turks or Moors, and annuity with His Majesty. So if they had the Moors, as you know, we went over this with the Moors, the ones that have rulership and things with the Queen, so on and so forth. So they had the rights to do certain things, right? So we're going to read this a little bit about this. This was something that says a white kills Negro. The whites kills the Negroes and seized the county of Wilmington. I believe this is Wilmington, Delaware, right? This is how they took over the land of Wilmington, Delaware, and they bragged about it in the paper. They just, to me, is bragging. I mean, they talked about it shit like it was nothing. Um, by revolutionary methods, white citizens of North Carolina, they must have ran them out of North Carolina, right? So they decided to go that way, overturned existing city government and at once established their own. They overturned. So government can be overturned by anybody. All it takes is a group of people to overturn a government when they're being unruly. And you see the unruly came in and did the shit. So if you're righteous, you had a right to do it, right? You had a right to do that, right? 9 black men are shot down. 9 Aboriginal men were shot down. The slaughter follows reckoning of the Record newspaper office owned by Negro, by the best citizens. So back then they owned the papers, everything. They owned the town. They came and just slaughtered these people. Hours of terror throughout the city. Governor Russell declares the city under martial law, and rapid fire guns are ready. Negro office holders resign. The leader of the uprising is the chosen mayor. You know what the uprising is, right? We know that's the KKK, right? If you're not familiar with what uprising is, just to verify that, right? This is where the riots took place. You see it. It's horrible. Wilmington is right here by Hanover and Brunswick. They just took over, came in there, killed all the Negroes, ran the rest of them off, so on and so forth, blah 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 blah. So that's that story behind it. We don't got to get into all of that because I got a few more things I want you guys to see. This I threw in here had nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I want you to know this because this is the overall of everything that we've been talking about and that I continue to tell you guys. Not only are we in the universe, but the universe is inside of us. Each and every cell within your body, the atomic structure, each cell inside of you is a small, tiny universe. You don't know that, but it's factual and it's damn true. Popular modern conceptions of the Vikings. The term frequently applied casually to their modern descendants and the inhabitants of the modern Scandinavias. They are often strongly differ from the complex picture that emerges from the archaeologists and the historical sources. They romanticize the picture. They romanticize the picture. Romanticize is making a picture more to the mind, so it's pleasing to the eye, so it looks, it's a feel good picture. It gives you a feeling of emotion. This is a romanticized picture of the Vikings. So the romanticized picture would be somewhat of what we just spoke about in that document, showing you that they take things and use theatrics. They use pictures. They construct things to give a picture in the mind to make a story, a false history, a false ascension of light, right? We're not going to go into much of that, but let's show you some of these Scandinavian people. These are the Scandinavian people, right? The Slavs, Scandinavian Slavs. These are the Vikings, Asian, Scandinavian, Asian. They look very similar, just somewhat a little different. You see the eyes, you see the structure, right? It looks pretty much the same, right? We're talking about the Euro Asians, right? You see these people. This is a Scandinavian. This is a Scandinavian. And this is an astronaut that is an astronaut from, let me stop. An astronaut that was in the NASA. He actually flew supposedly outer space when we know better. So let's look at what is actually going on in our mind. These are some of the things I maybe should have say. I think I'll get into this when I do my next health video. This actually kind of shows you how the mind is interrupted by all these different things. I kind of did this in a presentation before, went over a lot of this information with some things. So we're going to skip that. This is talking about the language of the Slaviskian people, the Slovakian, and how it was romanticized. Check this out. I'm about to put y'all on. I don't know if y'all listening. I see a few people done dipped out, but while they dipping out, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned because I'm about to put y'all on to some more stuff that some of y'all already know, but I'm gonna tie some things together. It's like taking that shoe and you put it through and you lace the shit, you pull it up and you tighten it up. Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of that for you, right? This was in a New York Times published April the 20th of 1919, right? Speaking about the Slavic people, right? The Lithuanian people are the Indo-European, Euro-Asian, Slavic, all these people are the same origin and speak one of the oldest languages in the world, a language remarkable for its striking resemblance to ancient Sanskrit, Latin, and Greek, as well as its complete deliverance from the tongues of the neighboring people, the Slavs and the Tunans. In riches and vocabulary, the Lithuanian is comparable only to English, so it's close to English. The Slavs, the English language, possessing as it does 75,000 words. That particular language possesses 75,000 words. Why would that be? That's more spellbinding of the mind, right? Giving you more words to things you don't even need. You know that we also need to just operate off of frequency. Telecommunication is a B. You need to learn how to tap in. So, Elise Reclus, the celebrated French ethnologist, says that the Lithuanian, of all the European languages, the Lithuanian has the largest number of juminatives, the juminatives expressing tenderness. Juminatives express tenderness, endearment. As I said, the romanticizing of words, right? When we're thinking about the romanticizing of words, and the expression of tenderness, endearment, and the affection of someone, right? It surpasses in this respect Spanish. It surpasses Italian, as well as Russian. These diminutive suffixes may be added to verbs and adverbs as well as to nouns and objectives. Now, what made this Slavican language come in to be something that was so romanticized, adding more spellbinding to the mind, adding more fiction, more fantastic lies, and creating more stories by words, by spellbinding, by lying of history. The first thing it started saying was the Indonesian origin. They speak one of the oldest languages in the world. We know that is a lie, right? We're not going to get into all that, but let's just go to the next pick so I can tell you guys. Continue on because I don't want to go too much longer. I'm going to do a little bit more and then I may have to finish the rest of these because I didn't, by the time we did the videos, I didn't get into too much of that. But we're going on 2 hours. I don't want to make this long and boring. Let me check in with my chat real quick. What y'all thinking about them Slavs and their language and their romanticism and shit? Astronaut. Say that, bro. Astronaut. You got it. How y'all doing, chat? How y'all doing? Listen, y'all feeling this? Y'all digging this information? Let me know if y'all digging it. Somebody put a firebomb. You know, like AP be saying, put a firebomb in there. Let me know you guys feeling this information, or do you want me to go on? I can read, or I can just do pictures. You know, I can get into the maps. I got a few things on this particular album. I want to show y'all, so you know we can fast forward. But I want to give y'all some good jills right quick. So let's kind of get into that. It says right here in this paper, this paper is talking about the treatment of the Aborigines. Mrs. P. Gibbs outburst. Miss Gibbs was an Aborigine. Miss P. Gibbs, right? Addressed to housewives. You white people awoke an animal. I'm sorry, I'm lying. That's not what it says. They an animal. I'm sorry. You white people awoke an anniversary day with a feeling of pride at what you had done during these 150 years. But did you think of the Aborigines' broken heart that for them it was a day of mourning? Ask Miss Pearl Gibbs of Newtown, I'm sorry, who is herself partly Aboriginal, when she addressed members of the Housewives Progressive Association yesterday afternoon. What has what has any white man or woman done in the country to help any people? The Aborigines? Oh, she said what? Hold on, I gotta go back. because it's getting a little small. Okay. What has any white man or woman done in this country to help any people? The Aborigines, continued the speaker. The Aborigines are now taking up the matter for themselves and asking for citizenship. It is not ridiculous or silly for them to ask for citizenship in a country that is their own. Hear that shit. It is not silly for them to ask for citizenship in a country that is their own. Cottages crowded. The Aborigine Protection Board had the power to take Aborigine children from their parents. And Mrs. Gibbs, as the Brewster, as the Brown Rise Reserve of the Brown Rise Reserve, where there were Aboriginal families living in one. Man, I'm having a problem reading this, guys. I am so sorry. Living in one. Da, 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 da. Okay, up here. Up here. She suggested that the Aborigines might live on huge reservations of which they could and live in their live in their former style, something they were trying to convert them from. There is not a place in New York, Wales, where such a thing as giving them huge servant. Y'all, I cannot read this. I am so freaking sorry. I wish I had somebody up here that could see really good. I probably need to buy reading glasses. Y'all know I'm getting a little older. I don't wear glasses, even though I have the bad eye. I have usually 20/20 vision, but I haven't had seen an eye doctor in years, so I might need to do that. There is not a place in New York, Wales, where such a thing is given the huge reservations, blah blah blah. So basically, y'all know this was talking about the Aborigines and the treatment. They were talking about what they demanded. They wanted a reservation. They wanted some stuff. Inhumane white savagery of the Aboriginal Australians. This is what this is talking about. It was a paper that talked about the Melbourne age doing while the scandal connected with the mockery of protection of the Aboriginal. So they mocked the protection. They supposedly had protection, obviously didn't, and they were treating as inhumane by these savage white people. Is what they were talking about. We ain't gonna read all that because that's not too important to us. Okay, now we're gonna show y'all some of these white folks, these white slaves, white slavery, as they say, was no white slavery. Y'all see, they was bitten. They was ready. They were ready. Just check it out. Y'all see this, right? Captain Cricker horror trickery at Algiers on witnessing the miseries of the Christian slave. Do you guys see this? Right? You see it, right? Witnessing the misery of the Christian slaves, chained and in irons, driven home after the labor by infields with large whips. See, these were the British people with their whips and chains with all these white people. There's like one uh um looks like to be a darker guy, but actually he actually looks like a white guy. It's like some type of shadow. I don't know why they have that there. Oh, you said keep going, bro? Okay, okay, bro. I'll keep going. I'll keep going. I'll keep going a little bit. If y'all interested. I see y'all my at least my bro say he interested, so I'm gonna keep going. I'm let me drop the link too for any of my fam want to jump up real quick. Let me do that. Can I see where the thing is? Yeah. I'll drop the link for anybody that wants to get up here and talk about some of this stuff with me because it is like funny, funny, funny to me, all this stuff. It's hilarious when we look at lies and like the truth they tell and all that old kind of stuff, right? Okay, so let's get back to the pics. So y'all see that for yourself, right? Y'all see it. Look at them. Look at them, y'all. Look at them. Just look at them. Just look at them. Look at them. Look, look at them. Looking, they was all in a whole new world. They didn't know where the hell they was at. They looking around. They looking like, "Ooh, Lord, what is going on?" They had all kind of stuff going on, right? Look at that. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Y'all see them. Y'all see the white slaves. They had them. Manor Hold the Garage, Crifton, Slavern at Algiers. Something. I can't read it, guys. I mean, hey, if you guys, whoever can read it, put it in the chat. We don't know what it's saying. I can't read it. I don't know what language it is, even to be quite honest. I know it says slaving right here. So this is where they kept had the slaves and was giving them, selling them off. Y'all see that slaving. So we know that part. We can kind of shift through the words. But yeah, look, they was all over. They had them. People was taking and bringing their slaves, some trading slaves, and yeah, all that. Look, y'all see them. Dirty, nasty little people looking disgusting. It's just crazy. Wasn't bathing, obviously stink, funky. They slaves. They about to sell them off. Yeah, all that. Look, y'all see it. Y'all see it. Two white slaves, or the Creole orphans, a tale of the power of virtue over dishonor. This is a book you guys can look up under the Library of Congress. I think I put a couple of books in here, just the titles. I may have put some informational verbiage. If so, we'll get into it. This shows the disbursement of earnings that were given to certain people on things that were going on in the U.S., but we're not going to get too much into that. Just want you guys to see some of that. This talks about Coney Island and the crowned heads. So we know about Coney Island. We know about them with the incubators. We know about them, doing all that stuff over there. So this is kind of like, they were showing how they would bring everything in Ireland, France, Italy, the story. Coney Island. Let's talk about Coney Island, the invention of a people, the invention of incubated babies, test tube babies, whatever you want to call it, the creation of races, the creation of all these different people, one, two, three, four, five, six. We see them, right? These people coming in, the crowned heads. Look, they're showing you. They all came out. Look, this is a zombie. This is a zombie. You keep hearing about zombies. Now, this is a zombie. Look at the eyes. I want you guys to see that. Let me just go in. Look at the eyes. It's a zombie. Look. Okay. So this is another part of the plotting, the planning, the theatrical production of things, right? Trial of affection. This is a free man, obviously, and here's a slave. Here's a slave. You guys see that? When we talk about people that don't believe in white slavery. There was white slavery, black slavery, some emancipation, some laborers. You owe somebody something, you got to pay for it in a debt. So you're going to pay for it with your currency, just like you do now. You go to work every day. It's the same slavery shit. You're playing it with a debt. You go to work every day, you're making money, so you'll be able to pay somebody else. So you got to pay that current to pay something else off. Yeah. I think I put some of the information from this particular book. Yeah. So this I did put in White Slave, Memoirs of a Fugitive, right? It says all men are by nature equally free and independent and have certain integrity and rights, of which when they enter into society, they cannot by any compact derive or divest this posterity, namely the enjoyment of life and liberty with the means of acquiring and possessing a property and pursuing happiness and safety. Virginia Bill of Rights, really? That's what they think? They can just do what the hell they want? No, you don't do that. You don't just go take shit over. Okay, it says, this is from the memoirs. It says that ye who would know what evil man can inflict upon his fellow without reluctance, hesitancy, or regret, ye who would learn and limit of human endurance, and with that bitter anguish and indignant hate, and the heart may swell and yet not burst, pursue these memoirs. Mine are no silken sorrows for sentimental sufferings, but the stern reality of actual woe, the story of which may perhaps touch even some of those who are even who every day themselves the authors of misery and the same as I endured. For however the practice of tyranny may have deadened every better emotion, and the prejudices of the education and interest may have hardened the heart. Humanity will still exalt an involuntary tribe. I'm telling you, my mouth getting dry. I'm gonna have to get some water in a second. And the men will grow uneasy at hearing of those deeds, in which doing though does not cost them a moment's inadequacy. Should I accomplish no more than this, should I be able through the trouble steer of the love of money, they get the root of money, I'll tell you. There was a page I wanted to read. Is this the one? Ah. Yeah, guys, I gotta get a drink. I actually gotta uh open this door and get some air in here. Give me a minute. Let me play y'all something real quick while I do that. Oh man, I'm really like having a roast dry throat right now. I'm gonna get y'all ready though. Hold on one second. Goodness, I've been talking a lot. I've been on the phone, handling business, and I jump right over here with you guys. Let's play this.
Bluetooth connected.
Can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Yeah. Slavery was a long time ago. How? Same motherfuckers still here right now. Colonized on our land, they ahead of us. Changed our name so much, they scared of us. Children of the sun, y'all don't compare to us. Pale-faced people, this ain't y'all area. Talking about America, pale-faced people, this ain't y'all area. Even up the playing field, bitch, I'm darn. How you a victim, bitch, you a Karen. Cognitive dissonance, you don't need sperm. You got white privilege, so you don't need sperm. Looking at my homeland, man, I can't believe her. Colonized came here, they ain't never leave her. Indians ain't die off cause we here. You ain't gotta lie, just say you won't be here. How you American but not indigenous? 400 years still ain't get rid of us. All Europeans, naturalized citizens, made all the Indians niggas on the census. 1492, we was on the fences. Civil rights movement, we was so defensive. Black Wall Street, whites got so offended. Common law rights gave us amendments. Thank God don't speak truth, that's alright. First slave 1619 was all white. 1200 wasn't no continent, all white. Europe named after a black woman, alright. Grafted, it come from us, do your research. Go within, quit listening to the teacher. And the nuki got voice coming out the speaker. Cut our trees down and made us weaker. Really they foreigner, the shit gets deeper. Whites don't know where whites come from either. I'm Aborigine, we come from the ether. Ruling over us in our land, that's evil. Being colonized right now, black people. Prisoner of the war, that's why it ain't equal. Wake up everybody, don't be no sheeple. Freedom ain't free, really freedom is illegal. And we can't get mad at this. Whites act like we can't see their advantages. Privileges real, they working in management. Low down dirty, but they calling us savage. They want you to think they above us. All white people are part-time judges. I ain't no racist, but I ain't no sucker. I ain't no African, but they my brothers. Been lied to, I got built up anger. We built everything, still waiting on the savior. Don't call yourself black, please do me that favor. Black tourmaline will protect you from a hater. Listening to your oppressors is dangerous. Gave us a Bible and stole our nation. Said we couldn't read what we didn't know the language. Kept us on paper because we didn't see the danger. American Indian, keep the religion. Skin copper color look just like a penny. Wanted our land and you called us stingy. Ain't no Democrats there together, pay attention. We got ancestors, but the papers is missing. Kings and queens, we just can't remember. Remember who you are, just like Simba. Now they got a vax, we don't want that in us. George Washington is the ninth president, look it up. United States, only 10 square blocks, look it up. White people really the minorities, look it up. Courtrooms don't got authorities, look it up. You want me, say stop governing me. Gave me a straw man, it's really not me. Why you don't keep it 100 with me? Why Trayvon Killer still walking around free? Made this song for the truth, don't hate it. History was told in reverse, I've stated. We still oppress, somebody gotta say it. I'm talking out of school, that's the reason I made it. History is his story. History is his story. History is his story. History is his story. That ain't my story. History is his story. Probably ain't your story. History is his story. It's his story.
All right, guys. All right. Yeah, I had to get me something to drink, guys. Goodness, trying to do like 5 things while that song was playing. Got my drink, checked on my daughter, see if she was straight. She's still sleeping. Uh, got my balcony open, getting some fresh air. It is beautiful outside. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I am definitely going to get out here in a minute so I can get out here and get some of this beautiful sun. It is a beautiful day outside. All right, so we're going to get into this a little bit. Let's see. Where are we at? Where I want to start? Let's see. Oh, the next page. Actually, do I want to read that? Let me see. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's read. Let's read from here. Let's read this part right here. Where you talking about this influential more. The country in which I was born was then, and for aught I know, may still be one of the richest and most populous in Eastern Virginia. My father, Colonel Charles Moore, was the head of one of the most considerable and influential families in that part of the country. The family, however, little weight it may have in other parts of America at the time I was born, was a thing of no slight coincidence, consequence. In the Lower Virginia, nature and education had combined to qualify Colonel Moore to fill with credit the station in which his birth had placed him. He was a finished aristocrat. In such, he showed himself in every word, look, and action. We've seen the aristocrats. We've shown some pictures of that before, as far as these distinguished black people you would consider. There was in his bearing a conscious superiority which few could resist, softened and rendered even agreeably by a gentleness and suave. You know that's our people, gentle and suave, which flattered, pleased, and captivated. In fact, he was familiarly spoken of among his friends and neighbors as the faultless pattern of the true Virginia gentleman, and in combined by which they supposed themselves to convey in the most empathic manner the highest possible praise. When the War of the American Revolution broke out, Colonel Moore was a very young man. By birth and education, he belonged, as I have said, to the aristocratic party, which, being aristocratic, was, of course, conservative. But the impulses of youth and patriotism were too strong to be resisted. He espoused with zeal in cause of liberty, and by his political activity and influence contributed not too little of its success. Of liberty, indeed, he was also a warm and energetic admirer. Among my earliest recollections of him earnestness with which among his friends and guests, he hold on. I don't want to do too much more reading, guys. Yeah, we'll come back to this, guys, another time because I'm definitely gonna end this soon. I want to try to get to some of these pictures for y'all real quick. So hold on, because I want to show a little bit, a few maps. Oh, I did want to read some of this too. Damn it, talking about Louisiana. I'm gonna read this one. Let me see. Or is it this one? Hold on. No, okay. Oh, I meant to drop the link. Did I drop the link? I don't know if I did or not. Let me drop the link just in case. Juan said, "Get to the maps. They coming, bro. So skip the word. This important. Look at this. Do y'all see this? Is talking about the chief and what was going on. These are from a historical collection of some Florida people, Florida and I think North Carolina. Let's see. No, Louisiana, North Carolina. I'll actually come back to this, to a lot of reading. Let's get to some pictures and some maps real quick. Play us a little music while I get going. Let's do that. We gonna find the pics. We gonna find some pics. Let's play this.
Yeah, all of my knees they roll you. Roll you. All of my knees they roll you. All of my knees they low you. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you roll you. Wait, roll you. All of my knees they roll you. All of my knees they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you roll you. Wait. Woo. I just had to catch my breath. I just had to stack my checks. Shorty got ass, God bless. Damn. I just had to stack my chips. I just had to grab my grip. A lot of niggas mad I'm rich. I'ma have to smash they bitch. Pull up in a maxed out fit. VLN on the logo, moving solo with the stick. Block jumping like a pogo, come and pull up on the strip. Told her pull up and get lit. So she pulled up and she stripped. Damn. I don't need all the attention. I just need all of the pension. Ran the bill up like a piston. Wait. Told them, but they didn't listen. Fuck it, I teach them a lesson. I ain't got time for the stressing. Damn dog, is you kidding me? You know that we aborigines. I don't give a fuck if you feeling me. As long as you watch how you grilling me. My knee G's making history. Brother, some diamonds at Tiffany's. She a carbon queen and she feeling me. So you know she matching my energy. Roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you roll you. Wait, roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crime, girl, you roll you. Wait, so to fix your crime, girl, you roll you. You ain't got time for the low vibes, but you know I'm feeling your vibe. You a black woman, you go God. You could trust me, girl, I promise. My only choice to be honest. I feel like it's perfect timing. When we hit your party, we getting it lit. Hit it YBs if I need me a fit. He got the sauce, yeah,
I gotta pause this for a minute. I want you guys to see this, right? Do you see where this says? The society. I'm going to read the whole thing. Let's read the whole thing. It says the Family Atlas, containing 80 maps, which are most of the maps that you guys have seen, at least 30% of the maps that I've shown so far, containing 80 maps constructed by eminent geographers and engraved on sleek on the super intense super on the what the heck is that saying? On the superintendents. Okay, now check this out. And engraved on superintendents of the Society for the Diffusion of Useful Knowledge. The Society for Diffusion of Useful Knowledge, right? Geological map of in England and Wales and all these other places. The star maps. It's got the plans of London and Paris. The plans of London and Paris. The building construction of a story. The construction of a life. The plans of London and Paris. I want you guys to make sure you're paying attention. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at this one. This is a Skyway map. So it's showing like different things. It won't let me go in, but so far. But this is Canada. These are airways and things that not the airway, the railways ways that they were traveling to port to take things to different areas. It says the Air Express Division, which is the Railroad Express Agency. This is what the railroads were then. So when they came in and started trying to take over and doing the things that they wanted to do, changing, putting in airplanes, they started construction of that, so on and so forth. I'm gonna skip this for now because I don't want to get into that. This is actually showing what America looked like then. The things that they said they came into, everybody was, just pretty much doing what they wanted to do, and America the Great. This is when it was the America the Great. Yeah, I think I may have showed a few of these. I don't know if I showed all of them, so I'll just go through them again. This is showing how they would live in. Remember what we read in the book, guys. in the book it was talking about, oh, all they did was sit around the trees and nothing but worried about eating. They had all the time in the world to think and imagine things and have ideas. Like they were so offended by that shit. It was kind of crazy. So yeah, that's kind of what they were doing in that time. And I've heard people talk about the camels. Yeah, we had camels. This is where we had camels, guys. Believe it or not, there were camels. Peace to my chat. Let me check in on my chat real quick. What's going on, chat? What's going on? Peace. Thanks for showing out. Thanks for showing out. Yes, had to play Trey Ali. That brother be bringing it. Working while listening. I know that's right, bro. You said turn it down. Okay, let me turn my mic down. Thank you for telling me. Usually it's like, oh, I can't hear you, Sister Soul. So you said now it's extremely loud. All right. Chai Alpha, is that better? I just turned it down, bro. You think that's much better? Is that much better, babe? Let me know. Put a one in the chat if that's better. So before I keep going, I'll turn it down again. All right. Let's get to it. Ooh, so yeah, we see American camels. Y'all see them. Y'all see the American camels. Somebody put American camels in the chat for me real quick, so I know where this is. I can do it actually. Let me go back. Let me go back, and I'll have always chat. People working and stuff. That's inconsiderate of me to think you guys can just do something for me that I need you to do, and I can take the second and do it myself. So yeah, these were American camels. American camels. Okay. Now we're gonna go to another pic. That's what I'll do. Just mark it if I have time. Let's see. All right. This one is showing how they had these people when they came in. Of course, they was acting all nice and smiling. Hey, y'all. We just came to visit. What y'all doing? We want to see what y'all doing and come over here and start bothering stuff and blah blah blah. And they was like, we not trying to hear that. Y'all got to come over here. And then look at this. When you see him, they just welcome him in. Oh, come on. They giving them hats and just handing over stuff to him, being nice and we just so kind. This is showing Carolina. This is how Carolina looked way back when. This is Carolina. Carolinas. Let me see. Oh, let me see if this boy this stuff. I gotta wait, y'all. 1 second. I gotta make a quick message. Okay. All right. So we're looking at the Carolinas right there, which is like absolutely looking a mess almost, right? But you see all those hills and stuff. There's a lot of water, nature. Um, you know, they didn't have a problem with the way they were living. They were great. More pictures in the Americas, showing some of. Oh, look at the umbrella. It looked like a Chinese umbrella, right? I have some Chinese umbrellas. They look just like this, literally, like for real. That's crazy. Dang, should I show y'all? Oh, I feel like getting it. Let me see. I gotta move something. All right, guys, got to move too much stuff to show you. I wanted to show you this. There was a video Red Squid did last night on, I guess, the Asian influence, maybe. I believe I was browsing through somebody. I don't know. I was browsing YouTube and I saw somebody talking about it, but somebody was talking about it. And I definitely wanted to tap into it, but I didn't want to take time to engage with weird people that were on the panel, I believe. So I kind of separated myself, but I definitely want to tap into that, give a little information. So look, you guys can see. I don't know what this is. Maybe some type of ritual. It looks like a fish is in his hand. To be honest, this looks like a fish. I'm not sure if it is a fish, but it looks like a fish. Something's going on. There's obviously some type of sacrificial ritual going on. Maybe there was some healing. You know, people are smiling, so obviously it was something good. But I see people back here that were battling, maybe having some type of fight. Um, Dang, I see somebody back here with 6 damn arms and shit. What the hell is going on back here? I didn't even notice this before. Y'all see this? What's going on with the 6 arms? Is that a teepee? Okay, that may have been not a teepee. What do you call it? A totem pole. That was probably a totem pole. Okay. Some of the animals from then. We kind of discussed this last night too. They had different creatures and things, and I'm thinking this had a lot to do with them showing the implementation of parasites. You see these snakes. You see this creature that we don't know what the heck it is, right? We see this thing, this demon. We would think it's a demon, right? That would look like the devil or a evil demon or something of the sort, right? So when we're looking at these type of things, they give reference to things, right? So there's truth in a lot of what we're looking at. This shows us the implementation of chemicals, medical influence, the influence of some things metabolically going on with the structure of the body, so on and so forth. And yeah, same thing kind of going on here, just showing how they were living. Let's get to these people were doing like all kind of dances. Those were sacred dances. This looked like some type of ritual or sacrifice. Maybe when the person lost, they were able to kill them. Maybe they were doing the battle because it looked like they battling back here, kind of showing a little bit of that. And let's see. Yeah, this was definitely a sacrifice. Check this out. This one was tripped me out. I don't know who's being sacrificed. I can't tell if it's one of the indigenous or what's going on, but I do see that they were burning up somebody. Somebody was literally being burnt up. And he's sitting there with his legs crossed, chilling, just watching. The nose looks real pointy. I'm not sure if that means anything because in these pics, theirs do too. So yeah. Okay, come on, maps. I put a lot of pics in here, guys. Hold on a second. Yeah, I'm gonna bypass a bunch of these. Oh no, let me show you that if you haven't seen the one with the skull and bones, showing where they got the skull and bones from. It's something to do with one of the tribes, and you see how giant he was. I want to talk about this. Do you guys see they were praising and worshiping this particular large guy? He was still a large being. He was a giant back then. You know how they talk about the Nephilim. You know how I've told you guys how we were huge, large people. And when they came and they cut the trees and things down, it minimized us because of the intelligence and the knowledge and all of the air. And it started making constrictions in our body. It started deforming. We also read in the book, it even talked about, it said how the air and the water, everything was polluted. The animals and the people started to be contaminated. Their bodies were disfigured, so on and so forth. So if you didn't remember reading that part in the book, we did go over that. Here's another one showing they had this other big, some type of god. They had giant gods. And this one, if you see, he's got some type of animal fur. He has like some wings, and he also has on a like a chief hat. So puts you in the mind of the Nephilim when you hear about those stories, right? And what was going there is more sacrifice here. Let's see. More sacrifice stuff going on. Sacrificing the birds. This map. Now, I wanted you guys to see this. This goes into my theory of the. It won't let me zoom in for some reason on this particular picture. Maybe the way it's framed. But it shows actually. It says Carte du Theatre de la Guerre. This is showing. It says Unity of the Highland American or content. I'm sorry, content highlighting America. And then it says theater. Now, we just went over all this. We talked about how the theater is a big representation of history when it comes to theatrics, lies, monuments, murals, documents, paintings, structuring of buildings, to falsify things and make them look a certain way, making a picture. This is the same thing. So it confirms here the theatrical production of the great states of America. This actually shows the ley lines, all the different ley lines in the different areas. And they have all these this information. So now they're able to put this information from these old maps, right? When I talk to you guys about the technical information and the World Wide Web and tying you into the web, the nanoparticles, the terraforming in the sky, the black mirror in the sky, all these things are contributed to the ley lines and the effectiveness of what they can use against us. So they have all the information from these maps where they know all of the horizontal, diagonal. It shows them everything. They know everything from these old maps. And this is how they're able to tap into the ley lines. Now, this is one of the older maps. And I'm trying to make sure I get to the edge. We're going to start over here. And this is how they had everything conglomerated rated to start the lie of the round earth. This is what I believe started that particular thing. So here's America. Trying to stay at the bottom so you guys can see it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is America. Here was the believe the canyon. And let's see, here's the Africa. Supposedly. Ethiopia. And we know all this is like really tied together because we went over that in the other map. We saw it, everything, Russia, all the area. The Russia was, which was the swampland that they came from, and the Euro Asians, and all of that nonsense. This is another one that I believe they use or started using ley lines when it comes to the atmosphere and changing things. The construction of, I wonder if I have this picture here. This is showing the construction of them, or the reconstruction or rebuilding. This is a construction map. If you guys don't understand that, this is showing some of the materials. I can't read this, but I know this is showing the materials and the things. This is showing right here where they created the floods. Let me show you. It's showing you where they created floods and broke dams to bring waters in and then reconstruct. I think some of these albums have pictures that I may think are in them and may not, but we're going to find out. This is talking about the equinox. I don't know if I want to bore you guys with this real quick because that's still dealing on the ley lines, the frequency, the things of that nature. So we're going to, kind of stay away from that. So I want to show you this particular one again. This is a map that shows the Americas and everything that was tied into it. The top part, North and South America, New Mexico right here. This is America, so y'all know this is America, right? Coming on this part right here, da 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 da, and it's all tied together. It's saying, it shows you that it tells us that this land isn't together, but I want you guys to look at it. See, this is America right here. This is America. This is America. This is America, as they tell you, right? That's America. But as you see, this whole land is together. This land, the mass, is all tied together. Do y'all see that? Reconstructed. Exactly. Reconstructed. All right. What's going on in the chat? Hey, people. Hey, people. Y'all getting a little bored with these maps, I see. So I'm going to yeah, it's been a little. Oh, it's 2 hours and 30 minutes. Y'all know I don't like to go too long. Can't take any more than another 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to go through a few more of these. And yeah, we'll be done. I do, babe. Right now, I'm on a screen with these pics. It's in an old album. I'm not able to get it to my email. I don't know how to do it. I'm not real tech savvy. So I can't get the information to connect so that I'm able to see it on the same link as the StreamYard. So I have to go to another window. While I'm in the other window, I cannot see what y'all saying. So let me see if you asked something particularly that I did not see. Yeah, them British had them white slaves, bro. Yes, all them indoctrinated lies and freaking historical information that is twisted, 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 twisted. But yeah, we gonna always sound straight. Y'all, I got a ton of information, y'all. We gonna get out here in a minute, but man, Sister Soul online. I am online, sweetheart. Go to sistersoul.com, but it usually takes you here. I'm supposed to be changing some things. And if you're looking interested, if interested, you can actually check out some of my products. If you're looking to cleanse yourself, try to get some things, right with yourself, basically, then you can definitely do that. I was thinking about that. I'm like, ain't nobody blocking nobody. I don't know what's going on. They hate when we be doing stuff. Let me just do it. No, I'll do it because I don't know what's going on. I know I had to get rid of moderators because people were blocking people out of my chat. So you guys, sorry I didn't have anybody to take care of that. Yeah, they they tripping, bro. I see it. I see it. I wasn't even paying any attention to that nonsense. Yeah, they be on me every time I spit truth, man. They be trying to fire at me, but it's cool. We still gonna do this. I don't know what y'all thought. So listen, y'all Russian, Asian, Eurasian freaking ass, man, y'all better stop. But yep, this is telling it all. It's telling it all. We gonna get ready to get out of here, guys. And yeah. Especially since I'm getting these weird people in my chat I don't have time for. Bro, this one right here, let me go to it and see if I see the year on it. I didn't go, I think I had it at the bottom, but I didn't look. This one is, let me see. This don't have, this one I don't see the year. If it's on here, bro, I don't see it. Unfortunately, I don't see it. The AI bots in there. It ain't Russian bots, baby. It's AI bots that's on it. When they see information, they trying to attack. Yeah. I don't know, Juan, what it is, babe. Sorry about that. Oh, you saw that on the map. Oh. Oh. Okay. You're talking about the information we was reading earlier. Dang, bro. I wish I could have been in the chat when I was reading that. See, I be missing stuff. I hate that. Next time I might have to get on my phone and just try to use both. Sometimes that causes another type of interference. But yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm out of here. We'll do this again later. Hopefully we can avoid the freaking bots and shit. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, guys. But yeah, we'll get into a little bit more of this later. Let me play one song on the way out, and I'll go through a couple of more maps, and yeah, we'll do that. Let's see. I gotta get my day going. Let me play my song on the way out of here. I love this little song too. This is so cute.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm just looking for a feather girl, you know? Vision be fooling. What's your name? What's your sign? I'm just trying to make you mine. Chocolate girl, you know you fine. Do I ever cross your mind? Get it wet, make it rain. Be my weather girl. I'm just looking for a wife. Won't you be my feather girl? What's your name? What's your sign? I'm just trying to make you mine. Chocolate girl, you know you fine. Do I ever cross your mind? Get it wet, make it rain. Be my weather girl. I'm just looking for a wife. Won't you be my feather girl? Yeah, you bad. Yeah, you fine. I'm just trying to make you mine. You ain't worried about these pennies, girl, cause you know you're a dime. And I knew that I would have you. I just had to wait my time. Had to know you past looks, cause you know that love is blind. Met you at the powwow, asked you what's your tribe. You asked me, mom, we politicking, then we caught a vibe. So you rocking your feathers, you can say you caught my eye. From that moment, girl, I knew that I could probably make you bride. Girl, you the truth, shorty, what you wanna do? Come and be a winner, you know I could never lose. Wanna be a man now, tell me what I gotta prove. You the realest, so that's why a nigga really fuck with you. What's your name? What's your sign? I'm just trying to make you mine. Chocolate girl, you know you fine. Do I ever cross your mind? Get it wet, make it rain. Be my weather girl. I'm just looking for a wife. Won't you be my feather girl? What's your name? What's your sign? I'm just trying to make you mine. Chocolate girl, you know you fine. Do I ever cross your mind? Get it wet, make it rain. Be my weather girl. I'm just looking for a wife. Won't you be my feather girl? Damn girl, you do that thing damn well. I know you indigenous with your tribe, I can't tell. Are you Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee? No interracial girl, I only fuck with chicks that look like me. I like a long hair, melanated vibe with no guidance, shorty. I'ma be your guide. Let me show you how to live. It's not enough to just survive and maybe have a couple kids if I end up between your thighs. For real. Intellectual convos about a book or something. That smirk emoji like you giving me that look or something. You keep it real like you carrying a hook or something. So if you want it, you got it. Ain't gotta look for nothing. What's your name? What's your sign? I'm just trying to make you mine. Chocolate girl, you know you fine. Do I ever cross your mind? Get it wet, make it rain. Be my weather girl. I'm just looking for a wife. Won't you be my feather girl? What's your name? What's your sign? I'm just trying to make you mine. Chocolate girl, you know you fine. Do I ever cross your mind? Get it wet, make it rain. Be my weather girl. I'm just looking for a wife. Won't you be my feather girl?
Okay, I gotta show y'all one or two more pictures and then we out of here. Y'all see this? I keep telling y'all snow is not natural to us. This is a map showing the distribution of vegetables and the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
Hemisphere
Yeah, rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them town homes. What's a native to a native? He $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation. Yeah. God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God of Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Families turn on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something, turn to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to something. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. This the message to the black man. 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 Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die, bitch, we bulletproof. This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Tell you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master, who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God is never our vernacular. They get paid and praised by the dollar long as they keeping us stagnant. And niggas think they woke, huh? Like you could change a whole world through a vote, huh? Like slave masters willing to let their slave go, huh? That slave master was probably your kinfolk, huh? History in reverse, a black king strategy. When blacks were your majesty, they always hide your pyramids but point to where the castles be. Aristocracies with your last name patent accurately. Yeah. And I ain't even tell half the shit. Like, I ain't even tell a quarter of the shit. I'm I'm just getting started. Y'all niggas rap about busting guns and all this weird shit. I'm trying to get my people back, nigga.
All right, guys, we about to get out here. I just want to see. I'm gonna show y'all the last of these couple of maps that show the territory. The maps will show them the territory of all of the tribe, what the tribe was. Reservation showing the historical map of Fort Rock Reservation. I just showed you guys the other ones like Montana, a couple of other ones. Let's see, which one is this one? The Centennial Historical Map of Wind River Indian Reservation. This is from these are from 1865 to 1868. So I'm assuming the other ones are as well. They're all from the same era when I download it. So, and let's see. This one, I think this says Colorado, Missouri map, Missouri Ranch. Yep. And it may be the last one. Okay, yeah, that's it. A couple more maps. Oh, this one is a good one. I want this to go over with y'all, but we'll do this another time. This one is intense right here. This is let me see. I don't remember what year this is. Say the year. I think this one don't say the year either. Yeah, it don't. Okay, but yeah, we'll get into some more stuff, guys, really soon. You guys know, as soon as I get time, I got plenty of maps. We'll be able to go over. We'll look at these and just kind of open our minds to some damn truth. Stop believing all these lies and stuff, you know? All right, peace, love, blessings, everything that is good and freaking wonderful and all that. This bitch still in here. You know what? Let me get their ass the hell out of here real quick. Don't look, don't come back. Stop playing around. All right, guys. Peace, love, blessings. I'm out for another weirdo. Get up in this shit and I ain't got time. All right. Peace. Look, I literally left the stage and didn't end the freaking live, so I'm about to end it and then I'm out. You right though, Juan. The older the map is, the more interesting to look at it. They look so beautiful. That's why I like going over them too. Bro said, let's see, the Barbary Treaties of 1786. Let me write that down, bro. I'll check that out. You said the Barbary. Come on, Pen, stop playing. Okay, Barbary Treaties of 1786 and 18 to 1860, and Morocco Treaty of 1786, Morocco, and the U.S. Treaty. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Peace and love, blessings, and everything to everybody. Appreciate you guys for coming through. You already know. We will be back for another good one. ASAP. All right. I'm out.